Ocean's crypt. You reach for your weapon, but as the small Voidwoken skitters forward, you get the sense that it's not here to fight. It looks at Fane, clicking and chittering in excitement, and introduces itself. Fane starts in shock. He knows it. The Voidwoken was a colleague from Fane's days at the Academy, his assistant. It claims it knows how to save the Eternals. It promises Fane that if he can snatch the powers of the Seven, then he can restore his people. Not under the rule of the God King or the Void, they would finally be free. Fane turns away, pensive and quiet. Even as a skull, you can see the pain etched into his face. The truth hangs heavy upon the air itself, unspoken. This is the point of no return. Somewhere beyond this point, you shall be undone, or you shall ascend. There is no middle ground.
Come here often. I don't know what you did, but you just released a source flood. I thought I'd come and see what all the fuss was about. Should have known you were getting yourself into trouble. Looks like the big moment has finally arrived. I will do everything I can to support you, Godwoken. I will pray for you. I think you'll need it. Don't underestimate the power of true prayer. This is a place of incredible power where a single prayer holds the weight of thousands. Your heart and soul will fill as quickly as they're drained. Consider it a taste of your divine future. Prayer will enrich you, and your disciples will empower you, strengthen you, and trust you in all ways to do only what is right. Of course, it's up to you whether or not to listen. I know how I'd respond, but you do you.
Melody wearily chuckles to herself, then bows her head in a show of unexpected but sincere reverence.
Looks like my investment's paid off after all.
You've shown me kindness in the face of my sins. My worship is the least I can offer.
Now go. Rivellon needs a new divine. Those on my sleeve.
Godwoken. Dallas told me about you. You must be as hard as diamonds and twice as bright to have come so far. Your divine welcomes you.
Surprise!
Lucian frowns at the figure, then bestows a benevolent smile upon you. All that you know of him flashes across the panorama of your mind. You open your mouth to speak.
I underestimated you, Godwoken. You have proven to be a formidable foe. You have my respect.
Respect, indeed.
Lucian's gaze rests upon you and goes through you. He takes your measure entirely.
Lucian, we should tell the Godwoken the truth.
Yes, I agree. It is time we dropped our masks.
Dallis nods, then reaches for the sides of her head. Where there was one face, suddenly there are four. She takes off the mask of the shapeshifter. A skull is revealed, bejeweled and ancient as the void.
I am eternal.
Surprise, surprise.
Fear not, Godwoken. Dallis is on the side of all that is good. She is helping me rid Rivellon of the influence of the Source. Listen to her.
I shall tell you the tale as I told it to Lucian. Long ago, the Scholar Fane discovered that the veil between the world and the void was made of Source. Our 7 lords desired this power.
Of course.
Silence, slave. Our king forbade the 7 to reach for this power, but they didn't listen. Instead, they rebelled and sent the king and his people into the void.
With the Source they stole from the Veil. The 7 created the races so they would have worshippers.
During their lives, worshippers collect Source. When they die, the gods feed from them. It's an ingenious system.
Our souls are nothing but vats for the Source-hungry gods.
The 7 made a mistake. By taking its source, they tore a hole in the veil, and it is through this hole that the void finds its way into our world.
The 7's lust for power let in the void. Our goal is to close the hole they created, to restore the Source to the veil. When we are done, there shall be no more Source in the world. No more gods, no more worship, no more war, no more chaos, no more demons, no more Voidwoken. Rivellon will have peace at last.
He hesitates, then he swallows his pride.
Here is the truth. I have killed thousands, perhaps millions for the greater good. But I made a mistake. It was my use of Death Fog that opened the door to the God King. It upset the Veil, and took the 7 by surprise. My one mistake meant all those sacrifices were for naught. Those sacrifices must have meaning. They must stop the void once and for all.
My people cannot be allowed to return from the void. They are tarnished. They are Voidwoken. They can only bring chaos and death and...
There is more, but she hesitates to share it. Then she decides that she must.
I was but a child when the war started. The king, in his fury, separated my family and scattered us across the world to be... entombed. He did this because it was my father who gave the 7 the secret of the veil, against the king's explicit instructions. Ironically, the king's punishment is what saved me from the void. Only a very few Eternals escaped banishment. Myself, my mother, and... Thane. Yes, Thane is my father.
What? No. It can't be. Everything Dallas did. It was all you. Child.
Everything I did to fix your mistake. Our people, every purged sorcerer, every dead magister, all those weeping families. They're on your head, father. And now, in my mother's name and my own, I take my revenge on the king and the Seven. And to you, father, I offer the opportunity to atone for your sins. Did you even look for me, father?
Dallas, control your emotions. Our purpose transcends your personal wounds.
You were right.
Dallas has her reasons, as you can see. I seek peace for Rivellon, and for myself. Her ambitions align with my own, and I always believed the goal justifies the means.
During the war, the real Dallas found my tomb. I took her place and quickly realized that Lucian was the key to my vengeance. And I was the key to the salvation of Rivellon.
While Dallas sought the Ateran, I started draining the gods of their source.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
One more word from you, and I shall use the leash.
I had to hide from the gods. So I had the walls of this crypt equipped with tenebrium, and protections put in place. It worked. Everyone, even the gods, thought me dead. As divine, I was created, empowered to stop the void. I was the avatar of the Seven, their strength and their weakness. My bond to them allowed me to drain them of their source.
Indirectly. And when the Death Fog was unleashed, many elves died. With fewer elves to worship him, Tyr Sandilius weakened. This gave the God King his first real foothold back in the world. To strengthen himself, he sent his Voidwoken, the remnants of my people, to hunt down the sorcerers seeking to reclaim their source.
We turned the appearance of Voidwoken to our advantage. To fix the veil, all source needs to be removed from the world. Blaming the sorcerers for Voidwoken made them easier to capture.
The Ateran now contains almost all of the source the Seven stole. Soon, we will be able to heal the veil.
The void shall be banished, and I, Lucian the Divine, shall return from the dead. A false divine, of course. I shall have no power. But the world will not know this. I shall demand peace, and we shall have it.
The plan is almost complete.
We have made so many sacrifices, Godwoken. All of us. Of ourselves and those we love. One last sacrifice is required. For the future of Rivellon. You must surrender your source.
Decide. Be the true hero and give up your source, or be forced to submit. Like a coward. Like a slave.
There is no other way. The source of the world is required to close the veil. All of the source. We only lack yours.
As I say, one last sacrifice is required. Yours.
Alexander was godwoken. Once, years ago, I should have killed Damien, but instead took him as my son. Quite the mistake. Now I was forced to kill Alexander, my blood, but once more, I could not.
The task fell to me.
And me.
Then let us proceed.
Show some responsibility, Father! Surrender your source!
Sealing the veil will lock our people away forever. They will never be free of the void. Though if they return, what becomes of this world?
Fane turns to you. In all the time that you've traveled together, you've never seen him like this. He's trembling with emotion.
And you, my fellow adventurers. Together we have seen more than generations of mortals could ever see. You have seen the horrors of the void, and I have seen this world through your eyes.
You'll be a hero. Everyone will know of the sacrifice you'll make. Your name will be synonymous with the survival of Rivellon.
Don't let them do this to us!
But our souls? There has to be another way.
If you want my soul, you'll have to take it by force. Try, and it'll cost you your life.
Your sacrifice shall be made for you, Dallas.
I'm sorry. You've come such a long way, but there is too much at stake. This is the end.
Feeling poorly, Dallas? Good. You shall not seal the veil. And now it is time. I call on the God King. Come, claim what is yours.
How? What? You are unleashed!
Surprise, surprise, surprise. You left the leashing wand next to me, you stupid maggot. So accustomed had you become to me pretending to be your slave.
Kill him.
Do shut up, you tedious buffoon. And don't look so surprised. As if I would allow a bone bag to enslave me. Me! Aren't you supposed to be the bright one? I am Brachus Rex. I am the Source King. Brachus Rex, you ignorant dog. Brachus!
Kill him. Now.
Too late, you mouldering, blight-stained pigs. Grant me power, my ally. God King, I call on you. You would interrupt Brachus Rex? You would interrupt the Source King? You shall redefine suffering. My ally sends me a pet. What a fitting gift. Ruling the world with a bloody fist can be lonely. I needed a companion. Come to your father, my pretty thing. Come to the Source King.
never possessed such mastery of sorts. I can only hope your choice is wise and true, godmode. I have made mistakes, but wisdom and truth, these are still values I believe in, and always did.
I hate to crash the party, but I think the time's come for an intervention. There's a matter I need to attend to, you see.
Dallas groans at Adramalik's appearance as he calmly raises his palm.
What is the meaning of...
Enough talk from you.
Dallas collapses. There is neither fanfare nor dirge. The hammer is simply gone, victim to the doctor's cruel whim.
And you.
The demon turns to you. His eyes are terrible and familiar as they burn into yours. This is the monster in the mirror, the demon inside you.
Hello, my dearest friend. How nice we finally meet. We've come so far together, Losa. Just a little further yet, and we can rest.
Your body is suddenly heavy and weak. The effort of keeping upright is nearly insurmountable. Rest, yes. A bit of rest would do you good.
Why couldn't you just have listened? Why couldn't you have just done as you were told? This will all be so much messier than it needed to be. Well, then you will be the first to die.
It begins with a spark in your belly, then grows to a full-blown flame. No amount of energy can counter the fire burning you from within. You hear his voice once more as your life slips away.
But not, of course, the last.
doctor lies dead at last.
Well then, this is, as they say, it. I never dreamed that after all this, I would be standing here with one of your kind, let alone that I would be proud to do so. I cannot imagine someone I would trust more with divinity, including myself.
Fane lays a bony hand on your shoulder, squeezing gently.
Do you know, I believe you will.
You think back on your journey here, on all you have seen, on how the Magisters hunted sorcerers who committed horrible crimes, and purged sorcerers who only tried to heal the sick. You think of how the Eternals unleashed void-woken horror on the world in an effort to reclaim it. You look at the source around you. You know that within your reach is divinity. You think of what you could do with such power. Seeing the vast quantity of source in front of you, you think you should be able to handle a couple of void-woken. You think of your personal problems. It's time to make a choice. A choice that decides the fate of Rivellon and of you. Where do you stand? After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take, or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own fate, and the future of the world. What shall you do with divinity?
And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the godwoken. A new divine rose, a true heir to the Seven, more powerful than ever, and united Rivellon in its battle against the void. All across the realm he was loved, worshipped, and adored. Humans, lizards, elves, and dwarves all rallied to his banner. The Great Allegiance stood once more, but the war continued. From the depths of the void, the God King still sought to return. As for me, my last hope of ever being freed of the God King's terrible tyranny faded when the Godwoken claimed divinity. An eternity of pain and suffering is mine. I cling now to the dream that one day the veil will be sealed, that one day I can be freed, that one day a new Godwoken will rise.
Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here, she looks almost angelic.
Well, here we are again. You, me, and the ship I've saved from ruin for your personal benefit. I'd say you owe me, but why stay the obvious? Let an eye fool, Your Holiness. I expect it's the last we'll see of each other for some time.
She turns to you, arms crossed, and grins.
Look at you. Magnificent. Actually, I've never looked better. Except for one small thing.
She fingers the mask covering her face. For a moment, it seems as though she's about to remove it. But instead, she places a hand on your shoulder.
We've come a long way together. I did my best by you all the way. I sacrificed much. But I'd give even more to see you become exactly what you've become. Soon, I'd like to have a little chat about something you can do for me. But I believe that can wait. Relax. Enjoy. I certainly plan to do the same. Oh, I don't know, around and about. Treat myself to some mead, a lover or 300. I'd say we've earned it. And when the time comes, I'll come find you, Your Holiness. Don't be a stranger now. Don't be a stranger now.
There's nothing interesting down there. The future lies above, not below.
The ghost of Losa hums a soft tune, barely audible. She smiles as you pass by. Fane is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He leaves through it slowly, muttering to himself.
Interesting.
His eyes stay fixed on the book as you approach. Fane looks up, his gaze carefully drinking you in.
Fascinating. The power of my people. The power of the Veiled. All in one delicate mortal shell. Who could have imagined? I don't doubt it.
The skeleton looks back to the book. You can feel the grief radiating from him.
I can't help thinking that I could have saved them. That I could have done something. Right. An interesting concept. You creatures talk about right and wrong as if they are carved in stone somewhere for all to see. No. I made a choice. And I shall live with that choice until the end of days. That doesn't mean I cannot mourn them, though. They deserve that much.
The skeleton hefts Hubert's dog-eared encyclopedia, its weight heavy in his hands.
I've been rereading this book, looking over your history once again, poring over every detail with a new perspective, and do you know what? It's shit.
Fane tosses the book over his shoulder. It flutters in the air as it sails over the ship's railing and disappears with a faint splash.
If you have spent your life staring at a thing, you can write about it with knowledge. You can write about it with love. But it is almost impossible to write about it with wonder. You creatures have spent your lives trudging about this world, and you've grown blind to its miracles. Truly, good heavens, you hide it well. I'm not sure your people really look at things like animals anymore. Take otters, for example. Energetic, waterproof cats, utterly beautiful creatures. Or octopuses. Did you know they're secretly octopuses? Octopi? Octopods. I shall have to look that up. Regardless, the world is filled with absolutely incredible sights. And who better to catalogue them with the awe they deserve than someone seeing them for the first time? Some peace and quiet would certainly be a good start. After that, who knows?
Fane nods curtly and turns away, notebook in hand.
I am here to serve, Master, in this realm and any other, for as long as I must.
I cannot say whether the future brings peace or pain, but I am bidden to serve you, as promised once and promised eternal. And so, as always, I am at the ready.
You look out to the endless beyond. The sun's light plays upon the waves, just as it always did. The sails flutter in the wind, just as they always will. And yet, something is different. You are different. And with a start, you realize where you must go next. You speak the command to the Lady Vengeance, and another chapter begins. War raged on. The ancient empire of lizards became one of the pillars of the new divine alliance. The houses of war and of shadows were particularly useful in the fight against the god king. The empire used the war to expand its territory. Justinia returned to her throne. Under her rule, the Dwarven kingdom fought for the divine, and her loyalty was unquestionable. Many fine and courageous dwarves did their people great honor, in battle and in death. With Lucian gone, the elves reluctantly rejoined the Divine Alliance. Their place in the war on the Void would entirely depend on the integrity of the new Divine. And here and there, across the world, what was left of the Black Ring fought on. The island of Fort Joy remained a sorcerer's paradise, a place of exile for those whose sorcery threatened to bring in the Void. For their well-being, its residents depended entirely on the benevolence of the new Divine. Reaper's Coast struggled on. The farms and the fisheries fought to feed the people against the Voidwoken blight. The black pits took fire. The oil there burns still. Driftwood teetered on the edge of starvation until the night the Voidwoken came from the sea. All were killed. This did, however, put an end to the famine. The nameless isle had vanished. Although only open water remained, by instinct ships would steer clear. None of the captains could articulate why. Young Han grew up a warrior and became one of the Alliance's greatest generals. But even he could not win the war. With a new divine at the helm, Malady had a powerful ally. But she was in no hurry to call in her favor. After all, it might be the last thing she ever did. Having performed the greatest act of necromancy in history, Tarquin found the new world unchallenging. He became obsessed with rumors of another plane of existence. One day he vanished and was never seen again. Jehan the Demon Hunter never stopped hunting for demons. Sahala sought to strengthen the Elven alliance with the new divine. Her powers of sight proved useful in the ongoing war against the Void, but she could never be sure that the new divine trusted her. Tova, her mother, was Sahala's most trusted warrior. Fane traveled Rivellon, notebook in hand, recording the wonders he discovered. He kept a socket peeled for signs of the Eternals, hoping to find the wife he had lost. He's still looking. And then there was you. For how much of this do you take credit? or blame? And what kind of divine were you as the world battled on? Did you show mercy or strength? Did you sacrifice others as Lucian had done? Did you regret becoming divine? Should you have given your soul and sealed the veil? Only you know the truth. Only you know if you atone for your sins.